little bit more on the technology side. What technology strategies has your business implemented, which had made the most significant impact on the results?
Well, in terms of technology, it's not only inventing the technology, it's using the technology. And the classic case is take the mainframe computer, which came out of World War II, originally created to help more quickly calculate the projections of artillery shells. And obviously mainframes had a lot more uses than artillery officers. But you know who made the most money from the mainframe? Obviously it wasn't IBM's competitors. Most of them went by the wayside, Fargo and others. IBM itself, 20 years ago, had one foot in the corporate graveyard before being rescued. You know who made the most money? And somebody who learned to use them. That individual was Sam Walton, Walmart. Early 1960s. At the time, Kmart was 50 times the size of Walmart. How do you compete in an industry that's been around forever, retail, dominated by giants? How do you do it? And Walton figured out that he could use these mainframes, develop software to manage information better than his competitors, manage inventories better than his competitors, and ultimately do the supply chain logistics better than anyone else. He could beat them at their own game. And that meant flexible pricing. You saw that there was a snowstorm coming in Minnesota, you could probably raise the price of blankets for a day or two, a couple of bucks. So that constant attention to the mainframe is how Walt did it. So it wasn't, having a cleaner store, you had great stores and all that. And of course today, you know Walmart has succeeded because so many groups are against it, including often the government. The government comes after you, you know you've succeeded. See with Google, Microsoft, who knows who else is going to get their crosshairs. But in terms of our own shop, we didn't invent a lot of technology, but we certainly embraced the web in a way that I don't think our others did. Many 15 years ago saw the web as something you just threw the printed page on and voila, you're in electronic publishing. That was like 110 years ago. When Edison invented movies, some thought that you could just film a stage play, and that would be a feature film. No, very different. So what we did is when we started Forbes.com, we put it in a separate building, separate staff, because we knew the natural tendency of print would be to twist it, not out of malevolence, but just out of human nature, day to day, twist it to their own purposes. So we wanted this baby to grow on its own, and eventually it did. It became a moneymaker, and then we combined it with the magazine side. When you come to work in Forbes Media, there is no separation in terms of selling, in terms of editing. You work you're doing for both platforms. And we just did a redesign on our Forbes 400. Great sleek in the magazine, but you go online and look at those people on the 400, you're going to have easier access to all sorts of very interesting information about every one of these individuals. It would not have been possible in the old days. It wouldn't have been possible a year or two ago. We're doing more on social media, using more on the blogs in terms of getting outside content. In the old days, you had your own staff. You might use some freelancers. Now you've got hundreds of possible ones. You have to have editors with the mentality to know not only how to edit, but also how to call and get the best out of people who go to your office each day. So those are things that are being done. And while everyone focuses naturally, because we're all accustomed to doing things a certain way, on the old way of doing media, there are huge opportunities to those who not only adapt, but realize the extraordinary opportunities that technology has done in terms of easy access and interesting information. I think you'll see it on the Forbes 400. So while we did a makeover of the magazine, our makeover of the website is evolving. You won't see the final until another 9 months. Instead of trying to do it all at once, which is that we would do it each and every day. We'll start to see it with the 400.